of the equation of a circle. So with center HK, okay, we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. Okay, the standard form of the equation of the circle is also called the center radius form because it includes the center HK and it also includes the radius. Okay, in this first problem, we're going to write the equation of the circle with a center at 3, -3 and a radius of 6. So we know that we could conveniently write this as the h and this here as my k. So when we say x minus h, we're going to have x minus 3, okay, and then we're going to square that, and then we're going to add to the next piece y minus k, but since k is -3, we can say y minus -3 or y plus 3, double negative. We're going to square that, and then we're going to set that equal to the radius squared, which will give me 36. Right, so we have the equation of the circle. Substitute in our HK and our radius, and then clean it up. So my answer, x minus 3 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 36. Now we're going to look at a graph, and we're going to try to find the equation of the circle. Okay, so what we need to do is identify the center. So we can identify the center, remember, again, as h comma k. And you can see here's my center of my circle, and that would be at 1, 1, 2, 3, comma 3. So this ordered pair right here, right, the center of the circle is 1, comma 3. And from the center out to the edge of the circle, it is 2 long. So here's 1, and then here's 2. Therefore, my radius is 2. So identify r as 2. And then we can just put it into the equation of our circle. So we can say x minus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals the radius squared, which is 4. Okay, so again, the center is at 1, 3, the radius is 2. We have our equation of our circle. So then we can use substitution, and then we can simplify, and then we have a final answer of x minus 1 squared, quantity x minus 1 squared plus quantity, which means that we have a set of parentheses, quantity y minus 3 squared equals 4. Okay. Next one, you're going to check your progress. You can pause your video and try to write the equation of the circle that has a center at 2, -4 and a radius of 4. Good. If you said C, you are correct. So we have this as H, and this guy here is K, and we have radius 4. So that would give me x minus 2 quantity squared plus y minus -4, so minus a -4. That would give us then y plus 4, and we're squaring that, and then we're also going to square by 4 to get 16. So if you look at the A, it's almost correct. They just forgot to square the radius. Okay, now you're going to look at a circle that's graphed. Check your progress. Go ahead and pause your video and write down the equation of this circle. Okay, so if you said D, you are correct. So you can easily see that the ordered pair here, 0, 3, is my center. That's going to be H, and that's going to be K. And then from the center out to the edge of the circle, that's 1, 2, 3 long, which is a radius of 3. So we could say x minus 0 squared. So since we have x minus 0, we can just say x and then square it. And then we're going to have plus y minus the k, which is 3, squared. And then we're going to set that equal to the radius squared, which is 9. All right, so we're going to write down the equation of a circle. Okay. All right, here we're going to write down an equation using the center and a point. So this is going to be a little bit different. We know most of it. Okay, so we're going to have, we can start by writing down x plus 3, because that's going to be x minus negative 3 squared, plus y minus negative 2, or y plus 2 squared. The only thing that we don't know is the radius. But we know it's set it at negative 3, negative 2, and it passes through the point. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the distance between the points to determine the radius. Okay, and we can do that pretty easily. We're going to use the distance formula, and we should know that. It's going to be the square root of the change in x. So something like x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and so on. So negative 3 and 1 are 4 apart. So we're going to square that, and we're going to get 16. And negative 2 and negative 2, they're actually, they're not, they're 0 apart, I guess we'd say. And so do that, and then we take the square root, and you get 4. So the distance is 4. So my radius is 4. So remember, we have to square that for part of the equation. So there we go. Let's put a 16 here on the end, because that's the radius squared. All right. Let's go and verify that. Okay, there's my radius of 4. Now we're going to write the equation using the h negative 3, the k negative 2, and the r value of 4. And we did that from the beginning. And then we clean up, use substitution, and final answer, x plus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 16. All right, we're going to write the equation of a circle graphed to the right. So here we go. Let's try this. Okay, so if you look at this, they're simply giving us a radius in this problem. They're saying, hey, look, my radius is square root of 17. Right? So if we square the square root of 17, we're going to get 17. So when you take the radius and you square the square root, you just get the number underneath the root. So that's called 17. So we know that we're going to set this equal to 17. That's the radius squared. Okay, it's also centered at negative 1, negative 2, and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So my center is at negative 2, negative 4. So we should be able to say then x plus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 17. Okay, so we found them and put it into our equation and clean it all up, and here's our final answer. Okay, now you're going to check your progress and see if you can find the equation of a circle that has a center at negative 1, 0 and passes through the point 3, 0. Go ahead and pause your video. Right, if you said A, you are correct. Now, we know it has to be x plus 1 because this is a negative 1. So we're going to have x plus 1 squared, and then plus y minus 0 squared, or just y squared, okay, equals, and then we have to figure out, so as soon as I have a plus 1 here, I know I can probably throw out the b, right, and throw out the d, because this should be a plus. Okay, and those have minus, so we know those are wrong. Okay, and then we got to find the distance between the 2 points. Now, it shouldn't be too hard. Negative 1 and 3 are 4 apart. We're going to square that and get 16. And 0 and 0, I guess, are 0 apart. Square that, get 0. Add them together, take a square root, and we get 4. So since my radius is 4, we square it and get 16. All right, check your progress. You're going to see a graph of a circle. And you're going to write the equation of the circle graphed to the right. Go ahead and pause your video. Find the equation. Good. So if you said D, you were correct. Okay. If you notice that both the x, right, both the x and the y are negative at this center, so both of the insides of my parentheses should be positive. So that helps me then eliminate the a, helps me eliminate the b. Okay. And we're also supposed to square the radius. So that length is square root of 15. So we square it, we get 15. So they forgot to square it here. Okay, so that's why C is wrong. And we have the final answer of x plus 1 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 15. All right, so we're going to have an equation. And we're going to try to state the center and the radius, and then graph the equation. Well, that's not too bad, right? We're going to say center. A lot of times we can put like a colon maybe. And then we can name the ordered pair. Okay? And remember, this is supposed to be x minus h, right, squared. So since this minus here matches the minus, then the h must be the 2. So we're going to have 2 comma. And remember, this one's supposed to read y minus k quantity squared. All right? But since this minus doesn't match, we need to write this in the following way. We can write down y plus 3 as y minus negative 3 quantity squared. So now that it fits the format, you can easily see. So here's my minus sign, right? Make it nice and thick. Let's put it over here, match it to this one. Right, therefore, my k must be negative 3. So there's my center. And since this number 4 is supposed to equal r squared, we're going to take the square root of 4 and get 2. So my radius must be 2. All right, so we're going to graph this now. Okay, so we're going to go to 2, negative 3. It's not too hard. 2, and then go to negative 3. And there's my center. Now, for a radius of 2, it should then touch this point right here. And it should touch this point here. Up 2 and down 2. It should touch this point. And then over 2. It should touch this point. And then drawing the circle is not always easy. So kind of just draw like this. And there's my circle. Okay, so let's see what they've got as the solution. Okay, so we compared them, we found our values. So we have our h value of 2. We also have my k value of negative 3. Okay, so we got that. And we have r squared equals 4, therefore r is 2. And then there's my graph. All right, which of the following is the graph of x squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 25? Okay, go ahead and check your progress. See if you can figure out based on the center and based on the radius. All right, so if you said B, you were correct. Now, how do we know? Well, we know since the x is just x, it doesn't say x minus anything, then the h must be 0. So we have a center of 0, comma something. And then this reads y minus k, so k must be 5. So my center must be at 0, 5. Well, which one of these is centered at 0, 5? It looks like only B. Now we can also make sure the radius is correct. Well, from the center we go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's correct because this is the radius squared.